Hello, I'm Sasha, and in this presentation, we will discuss planting with the Three Sisters. In the world of gardening, Three Sisters refers to a type of planting method where the sisters consist of beans, corn, and squash. And in the next few slides, we'll discuss why people use this method and how each plant contributes to the success of the others. In some cases, people will add a fourth sister, and we'll watch a video that later touches on fourth sister plants. However, the purposes of this presentation will be focusing on the main three. The Three Sisters are an example of companion planting. Companion planting is when you plant certain plants together to take advantage of their natural tendencies and relationships. The Three Sisters in particular demonstrate how indigenous populations of the Americas would use companion planting to help sustain quality crops. The first thing you should plant is the corn. The corn is especially important for the beans because it provides support for them to climb and keeps them from competing with the vines of the squash. A few weeks after planting the corn, or when the corn is at least a couple inches tall, about knee-high, you should plant the beans. You want to wait to plant the beans because you need the corn to be tall enough to support them once they start sending out their tendrils to climb. Beans have a symbiotic relationship with nitrogen-fixing bacterium called rhizobia, which deposit atmospheric nitrogen into the soil, which the other two plants can take advantage of. Finally, you can plant the squash. Squash has large leaves that will shade the ground and provide a good growing environment for all three plants by keeping the soil moist and weeds at bay. Plant the squash seeds about a week after the beans have emerged. You don't want to plant the squash too early because then their large leaves will shade out young corn and bean seedlings before they have time to establish. Planting in order from corn to beans to squash ensures that the plants will grow and mature together without getting in the way of one another. Now we're going to watch a short 4-minute video. This will go over a bit more background and into the methodology of how we should be organizing the Three Sisters, as well as what types of seeds are best to use. It's important to keep in mind that while she is working in a large area with multiple mounds, we will be working in a single raised bed.
We're here at Sierra Harvest Food Love Project. Behind me is a technique of planting called Three Sisters. We're going to show you how to do that today. Companion planting is a useful gardening technique where you plant certain veggies together to take advantage of their natural tendencies and relationships. This is a technique that's been practiced for centuries, and most famously with the Three Sisters planting. The Three Sisters is a combination of three plants working together. Sister beans deposit nitrogen from the air into the soil in a form that the plants can use. Plant pole beans such as Blue Lake, Scarlet Runner, or Italian Snap, not bush beans. Sister corn provides support for bean vines to climb upon. Plant your favorite. You can use sweet corn, dent corn, popcorn, or even a combination. And Sister squash shades the ground with its large leaves to provide a good growing environment for all the sisters. Squash can be winter type or summer types or both. There are many variations on a Three Sisters garden layout, but all of them plant the sisters in clusters on low, wide mounds rather than in a single row. The Wampanoag method is best known because it was the planting method that the Iroquois taught the early colonial settlers. Other methods include the Hidatsa method, where each sister is planted in clusters on their own mounds, and the Zuni method, which is best for arid regions. The first thing is to find a location with at least 6 hours of full sun every day. The soil should be full of organic matter and weed-free. We're going to build a mound, which we're going to plant the Three Sisters in. Build each mound so that it is 4 inches tall, 18 inches in diameter at the base, with a flat top that is about 10 inches across. Space mounds so their centers are 4 feet apart. You can start your garden when the nighttime temperatures reach at least 55 degrees Fahrenheit, but not any later than June 1st. We're going to plant the corn on the flat part of the mound with 6-inch spacing. And you don't want to plant the other seeds until the corn is about knee-high. You can also transplant the corn to get a head start, and then plant the seeds for the squash and the beans at the same time as you plant the transplants.
If you coat your bean seeds with an inoculant before planting, you'll fix nitrogen in the soil, and that will benefit all of the sisters.
Here at Food Love Project, the kids actually planted the three sisters, and they used flags to mark where their seeds went. Sometimes a fourth sister is included, either a sunflower or bee balm or amaranth. This sister also supports the beans, lures the birds away from the corn with their seeds, and attracts insect pollinators. This Three Sisters mound is about a month old, and it's a perfect example of having 4 to 5 corn stalks in the middle with the fourth sister as an amaranth. The beans have been planted, they're going to get started, and they're going to start growing up the corn and the amaranth, and now we're going to plant the squash. Planting the beans a few weeks after the corn ensures that the corn stalks will be strong enough to support the fast-growing beans. We're planting the squash now that the beans are about 6 inches tall. Spacing should be about 18 inches apart. For a mound this size, that means about 5 squash plants. You might want to put 2 seeds in each hole just in case you don't get 100% germination. And they go around the perimeter of the mound. Plant your Three Sisters garden, which is companion planting at its best, and grow organic for life.
Although we won't be able to have such a large area dedicated to the Three Sisters, hopefully the video gave you a better understanding of how this planting style works and will be comfortable working with our demonstration bed at the urban farm. The video mentioned a few different types of seeds to use for the Three Sisters. There are many different varieties of beans, corn, and squash, and not all of them work for Three Sisters planting, nor will all of those varieties work in a small raised bed. Listed here are a few suggested varieties, but before purchasing seeds or planting, double check all 3 of the plant's requirements and make sure they will be able to grow well together in a raised bed. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video and learn more about the Three Sisters. If you have any questions or comments, please email the DH Urban Farm or call the CSU DH Sustainability Office, and be sure to visit the Three Sisters demonstration bed at the DH Urban Farm.